The US has seen a major uptick in couples looking to file for divorce since shelter-in-place guidelines were rolled out in March and April of 2020. This has led to divorcing couples to turn to a newer way of filing that's cheaper and faster: online. To help fully understand the trends and how to make the process easier, we spoke to celebrity divorce attorney Debra Opri. To start us off, let's talk about the cost behind a divorce. The average cost of a divorce sits at about $15,000, according to online legal guide Nolo. This includes attorney costs, court fees, having your assets appraised, hiring a tax professional, and other related expenses. Where you live, whether you have a child, and how complicated your finances are can also affect how much you pay. Delaware has one of the highest averages, sitting at around $16,200. While Nebraska's average cost of a divorce with an attorney sits at a solid $8,000 less. But Debra warns of other hidden costs to watch out for.
Private investigators, when things are being hidden. Forensics experts for financials, when they're hiding funds. Information in terms of when you're going into a court and you're preparing for a trial or a mediation, you've got to have expert testimony, records reviews, and that means these unexpected costs are, I'm paying all of this, and what am I going to get for it?
But you might not be completely in the dark if you work with the right attorney, as Debra explains.
You do the calculations, and I always tell a client this before they come to see me. Email me a narrative, a summary, from the day you met to the day it was over, with everything. What did you invest in? Where did you go? Because when you read this narrative, this story, you know what to tell the client. Oh, you're going to have to watch for this. You're going to have to watch for that. They could be hiding money, a lot of assets here. They're going to fight. So the main thing is information. Knowledge is power.
Debra warns that not having a complete picture of your finances and parenting goals is what can add more costs. This includes situations that may be hard to evaluate before the filing begins, like a spouse demanding 100% custody of a child they're not close with, just to create a fight and to drive up costs. The main tip she has for keeping down the cost? Keep it civil.
So the best thing to tell the clients to keep the unexpected high costs down, keep the battle down, reduce the conflict, and don't make it so contentious.
Outside of keeping conflict down, there are other ways to reduce how much you pay for your divorce. Using an online divorce service is a more streamlined and less expensive option compared to traditional proceedings. But how exactly does it work? Online services like 3-Step Divorce or onlinedivorce.com populate your divorce forms for you after answering a few questions. Exact costs may vary depending upon the service you use, but they typically run anywhere from $140 to over $5,000. Each site has its own sign-up process, but the steps are generally the same. First, go to their website and enter your name and contact info. Next, specify where you're located and whether or not you have kids. After that, provide your spouse's info and if you know their whereabouts. And lastly, enter your payment info and confirm that the information you provided is correct so that you can start the process. While an online divorce may be less expensive and easier, not everyone will qualify. Whether you can use an online divorce service will vary by state and in some cases county. In most states, you also need to be a resident for a certain amount of time, usually 6 months to a year. To go the online route, you and your spouse need to file an uncontested, no-fault divorce and agree on 4 major issues: division of debts, property, alimony, and child support. If you do, you'll answer a few questions and the online divorce service will fill in the relevant fields of your forms for you. Once you've completed your forms, you'll sign them, take them to your local county clerk to officially file, and then serve your spouse. Some online divorce services will help serve your spouse and file the divorce packet with the courts on your behalf. Keep in mind that many online divorce services don't include the state filing fee in their cost, so you'll need to factor in anywhere from $50 to $450 to file all your papers with the courts. But even if you don't agree on all points of your divorce, you still might be able to file online by hiring a mediator first. Mediation uses a neutral party to help you and your spouse resolve disputes on your own, outside the courtroom. The average cost of mediation is around $1,500, though it varies greatly depending upon how many issues you and your spouse need to resolve. Ideally, by the end of mediation, you and your spouse will agree on the terms and walk out with a fully enforceable divorce settlement for an uncontested divorce. You'll then be able to gather the rest of your divorce forms using an online service to officially file on your own. If you want to keep your divorce filing out of the public record and avoid backed up courts, you might want to use an online divorce service like WeDivorce that also includes arbitration. Here, a private judge presides over the terms of your divorce and helps you avoid the public court process altogether.
If you hire a private judge, you can take everything out of the courtroom where you're waiting forever today. It's very rough. It's very rough sitting in a courtroom, and that's where the charges come from when you're waiting for months. If you hire a private judge, he can arbitrate it. He can have what you call a mini trial in a conference room, and you pay a private judge.
If you're still not sure which path to take, Debra recommends reaching out for help first.
When you decide that the marriage is over, educate yourself. Go online. Just educate yourself with people who've gone through divorces. Call an attorney. Just talk to an attorney on the phone. Talk to somebody who went through a divorce. Educate yourself. And then when you get to the point where you say, I need a divorce, this is over, how am I going to do it? You go in and you sit down and you pay for a consultation. It's cheaper to get the information from a professional than it is to get information from someone who's going to say to you, oh, I didn't know. I'm not a lawyer. Educate yourself. And this too shall pass. Everything will pass.
You can find even more answers to your questions by checking out the link in the description to read our full guide to getting divorced online. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you'll know when new Finder videos drop. Thanks for watching.